上一集我们讲到了肯定之语的重要性，那今天让 Times 来教大家赞美人的用词以及可以效仿的片语。Hello， 欢迎来到 Executive Plus 主管与沟通力的 Podcast。I'm Sherry, an educator, certified coach, and style enthusiast. 我相信专业有效的沟通是语言跟逻辑的完美结合。
And I'm Nick, a startup consultant, corporate trainer, and late-night gaming junkie. I believe great communication requires the right mindset and solid frameworks.
我们希望带给大家职场英语的技能、跨文化沟通技巧与其他能帮助您成为出色领导者的工具。
Join us each week as we share our experience, research, and methodologies to take your communication and language skills from good to great. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Executive Plus podcast. In the previous episode, we talked about the words of affirmation love language and how you can compliment people to show that you're proud or you think that they've done something well. Well, a great example of how people can give compliments or praise comes from the Time magazine 100 Next, a list that recognizes 100 rising stars from across industries and around the world. What's interesting about this list is that everyone on this list has to be nominated by someone else in their category. As part of the process, each time a person is nominated, the person who nominates them says a little quote about what makes them great. And there was a few quotes that we wanted to pull out because we think they're particularly good and broke them into categories that you can use when complimenting other people.
Yeah, 如果你有在 follow Time 它的 social media 的话，你会发现在近一个月啊，他们会陆陆续续把一些各式各样的一些 introduction， 然后这些业界的人或者些前辈介绍这些新的这些 leader， 他们的很简短的一些 compliments， 你就会看到在 Facebook 上面或者是 Instagram 上面。那你就会发现啊，其实这一些 compliments 都非常的短，只有一两句而已，但是很厉害的是他们能够在这一两句里面就可以去形容这个人可能在今年他所达到的巅峰，或者是他的个性，或者是他所成就的事情。 I think it's a really good way to learn how to compliment someone and give word of affirmation in a very short amount of time.
Today, we want to share with you 4 different categories for how you can give praise short and succinctly. The first category is just by listing off a list of qualities. Qualities that you think make this person amazing. So a great example of this is Queen Latifah introducing Keke Palmer. And she says this: Keke Palmer is one of the most talented human beings I've ever met. She is the epitome of grace, poise, and honesty.
我觉得这边非常好学的一个部分就是 epitome of什么什么什么，这些大家可以自己去放。但是我发现呢 the epitome of 这个 phrase 呢，其实在所有你可以看到书籍上面 article 上面这种 complimenting 赞美人家的部分呢，你都会常看到这个字一定会出来 epitome。
If you want to say someone is the epitome of a gentleman, then it's almost the idea if you opened up a dictionary and saw the word gentleman, you would see that person's picture. That's how you're using this word to describe someone.
所以下一位呢，也就是 Maria Taylor. Then Alison Felix said, "In a space where you don't see many women of color, I feel like she really shines. She's so knowledgeable and so relatable, and she has so much integrity."
Interestingly enough, people may think, why are you using so often? But this is a really good rhetorical device to just emphasize these different qualities. So knowledgeable, so relatable, and has so much integrity. If you had just said she's knowledgeable, relatable, and has integrity, it sounds like a good phrase, but that emphasis on so much, it really lifts up the compliment.
我觉得听起来就很不一样。The sound so different. It has like a rhythm to that when you put so something and so something. 所以这个也就是一种英文的修辞。当然，修辞的名字不重要，但是我觉得其实在我们平常生活当中，其实都可以把它用上去。 The next category is naming the key quality.
So rather than focusing on a list of qualities in the last one, a lot of compliments just coming from highlighting one thing you need to know about this person. So in the case of Lily Collins, her friend Darren Starr wrote, Lily Collins has the most amazing equanimity about her, the best attitude, and such a positive spirit. Her warmth lifts everybody up. So this entire compliment is built around this idea of equanimity. Now, equanimity, for those of you who don't know, means a calmness and composure, especially under pressure or in a difficult situation.
我非常喜欢这个字 equanimity， 因为它听起来就是一个非常 calming, 非常 sophisticated 的感觉。And actually, that's just what it means, right? It's just calmness and composure under pressure. 所以我觉得这个字大家可以把它学起来。那当然这个部分呢，它只是形容它这一个 quality, and then just kind of expand on that, right?
Another example of just honing on this one quality would be when describing Lashana Lynch, in which Viola Davis writes, As a performer, Lashana Lynch holds bold, quiet, and unapologetic confidence and the wisdom of knowing what she was put on this earth to do. All of those adjectives just lead up to this thing, confidence, right? This is what describes her perfectly in the eyes of Viola Davis, confidence.
Yeah. And I really like how she used the word hold this confidence. 因为我们觉得大部分我们可能讲说，有这个人很有自信的 she has confidence. But using hold confidence 好像整个气场都不一样了。So again, this is something we can definitely utilize next time. And the next category is give a definition of this person's quality and what they did.
The idea behind this is compliments that put someone as a defining person of this category, of this moment, of this industry. So in this case, La Roche was described by Christian Siriano as, La Roche's talent is truly unmatched. He is the definition of a creative genius, and the fashion industry is lucky to have him.
Yeah, so the phrase, the definition of 什么什么，那这个部分呢，这个片语呢，其实在很多不同的情况之下，你都一定可以来用它。And the next one, the next celebrity, Chuti Godwad. And Russell T. David said, The man is like a thunderbolt, and he keeps winning new grounds. He conquered the world. Now all the time and space is his.
Back to this person is a defining person in their industry. The way that he describes this, I really like that analogy. The man is like a thunderbolt. That immediately gives you a sense. He could have used a lot of other adjectives or praised him on, say, his acting ability. Yeah, but just like that analogy is a thunderbolt. Gives you a strong definition of who this person is.
You can just kind of imagine what he's like and feels that.
And another example of this sort of analogy that gives you a sense without having to use a lot of adjectives comes from Maud Apatow describing her co-star, Sydney Sweeney. 2022 is the year of Sydney Sweeney. She is an unstoppable force.
Unstoppable force. That's such a strong imagery. 就像 thunderbolt 一样，你可以感受到那个气场。So the next category is talking about this person's accomplishments.
A great example, albeit a little bit longer than our other ones, comes from Anya Presley describing Michelle Wu. Michelle Wu brings her entire self to the work of public service, and she shattered a concrete ceiling last November when she became the first woman, first Asian American, and first person of color elected mayor of Boston.
So I think a lot of times we hear like, oh, she breaks this glass ceiling of something, right? But this one, she actually used the word concrete to talk about how unbreakable and how difficult it is to reach that level. So I think that, again, that's like a really amazing word to use. And of course, like she used the word shattered, like not to just break, but to shatter.
Yes, the choice of words here really gives a different feeling. And another thing in the second half of her praise, she uses that rhetorical device again, where just repeat the first woman, first Asian American, first person of color, the first, to really hammer in why is this concrete shattering.
So from today's episode, we really want to bring you guys these real examples from so many different leaders of the industries, using all these words and phrases and the rhetorical device, and in a very succinct way to compliment others and the next leaders of 2022.
We will link the entire list in the show notes, so if there's any other quotes or compliments that really stand out to you, go ahead and share your favorite with us on social media, on Executive Plus Facebook, or Communication R&D Instagram, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
The Executive Plus podcast is a Presentality Group production. Produced and hosted by Sherry Fang and Nick Howard. You can search us on Facebook, 主管英文 Executive Plus. You can also find us on Instagram, Communication R&D, and email us at sherry@epstyleplus.com.